Radio R is the new name of our show. And today we have Crowetic, who is a
Crowetic.
a legend.
I suppose a little bit, maybe.
You are a legend, man. You carried a coin that I personally loved called Burst on your back for a long time. So you are a hero.
Some people don't see it that way, but yeah, I did. I contributed as much as I could to the project until things got a little crazy. But yeah, I love that project.
In my experience, most of those people who complain are the people that really don't do anything.
Yeah, that's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, but what did you do to contribute to the project to help it, increase some value? What did you do, buddy? And most of those people, those are the people that complain, are the people that don't really do anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in. You said this coin. This is a pirate coin. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Uh, I support it because it's 100% anonymous, and it's if I were to send you some money, it's kind of like cash. There's nobody that could trace it. There is no explorer to trace nothing. So in my opinion, this is the most anonymous coin out there right now.
Yeah, I was just saying that potentially we could support it on our pool. We're doing a bunch of revamping to our pool right now, and we could talk about that in a little bit after this.
Sure. So you've been around a long time. I like having special guests. As you know, I have a lot of coin interviews, but I like having guests too. I mean, there's people in crypto space that don't get the credit they deserve. And they've been here a long time. And I know a lot of developers. And a lot of them just don't get the credit for their genius. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're genius.
Well, a lot of them too, myself included, don't really go out seeking credit. Me in particular, what I'm trying to do is, I want to see some of this technology become a thing. I want it to be used. I want, people to, make use of it. And so, that's what my focus is in finding the best technology, finding the best developers, getting them working together is a key thing too. There's a lot of really good developers that are spread out all over the place. If we can get them all working together, then we can really accomplish something. So.
Well, so far, the only, I guess Discord community that is still together and has their shit together is the Komodo community. This coin I'm in here in Pirate, where you're in right now in this Discord, this is a chain off of Komodo, and I don't know how much.
Okay.
Komodo, but Komodo is. I like Komodo also because it's not like a token platform. Like if NXT died, all the coins would die with it, right? Or Waves, if it died, it would, all the tokens would die with it, right?
It's a single blockchain. Yeah,
it's dependent, right? That's not the case with Komodo. That's why I like it. If you create your chain or you add your chain to it, you could have an already existing chain. Just add it to Komodo, man. That doesn't hurt, right? To have some extra features. So, and it's nice because then now you have your coin also added to their wallet, and you get the 51% attack feature where nobody, it gets backed up to the Komodo chain and then to the Bitcoin chain. I had a developer on yesterday. He explained that to us. You could watch that video. How it works technically. I was saying yeah most of the time, but it was going over my head a little bit, man. I was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, I guess, is a little bit more, I guess, technically deep. So yeah, it's some stuff like that's a little bit hard to understand on the very base level. But a lot of the time, these developers are smart enough where they can, break it down a little bit so that people can understand at least like, on the surface what it's actually doing.
Right. So basically, as a normie, I understood that you have to attack your coin, and then the Komodo coin, and then Bitcoin, all within an hour in order for the attack to be successful, or else.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's so it's 51% attack proof basically. I mean, technically it's resistant because nothing's proof. So,
right.
So what have you been up to, man? What do you how you been spending your days? But let me just give people tell them how I know you. Back in the day when I got into Burst, I bought my first 2 5 terabyte hard drives, and I'm in there, right? And back then there was Burst Coin Dev. He disappeared at some point.
Yeah, he was about 6 months in. Yeah, 6 months in, he disappeared. Yeah.
But he creating what he created was pretty genius, in my opinion. And we haven't seen anything similar to this yet. And then I needed help, and to the rescue Crowetic came in, and Crowetec's like, yeah, I got this application I built myself, and blah, and this, and you got to, and I was up and running. There was another guy also, I forgot his name. He was the guy that ran the forum, which doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
And the community, Burst had a really good community. There were a lot.
Yeah, it was a small community, but I mean, yeah, there were a lot of people, but it was small still, like on a larger scale if you're looking at like some of the bigger communities. But yeah, it was a nice community. Everybody was out to help each other, and that's what I really liked about it. And also, the way I found it, so I guess to give a little rundown of who I am and where I came from. So I've got, what is it now, like 17 years in IT, doing a lot of hardware level stuff, building systems, prototyping, stuff like that. So I found crypto when I was working for a software development company here local to me, and I'm in Reno, Nevada. And I was working with a software development company, and this coder told me about Bitcoin, and I was like, wow, why did I not hear about this sooner? And this was in the beginning of 13. So I went on and looked into mining because I thought the idea was really cool. Being a hardware guy, that was like what I was drawn to. So I went and tried to figure out how to mine Bitcoin. Realized I couldn't do that. Started mining some altcoins, and then got involved with Burst because I saw, and it was the day it launched actually, so I got kind of lucky there. The day Burst launched, I was browsing Bitcoin Talk, and I saw the announcement, and I was like, wow, this is really cool, hard drive mining. And so, I got really into that, and I, was around since day one. So I formed a little bit of a community and helped with the forums that were there. And then I formed what was called the core team, the Burst core team. It was basically just a team of people who wanted to help out. And, that's where it really got started. And then once the Burst developer left, Burst Dev, the original dev, he left, everything kind of went silent for a little while. I had to step away and get into building my company and a few other things, so I wasn't around as much. And when I came back, Burst was really in a pretty bad state. Like, it was, in threat of being delisted from Poloniex and delisted from Bittrex because of low volume. There was a lot of community members, but they really weren't working together. They weren't doing anything. So then I revamped the core team and really got it focused on doing some development and getting the coin pushed ahead. And so we did that, and it really kind of started turning around. We saw a lot more volume. We saw a lot more interaction between the community members. We saw a lot more development, some innovation. I was trying to get all the developers talking to each other, and I'm pretty good at that. I can facilitate that pretty well. And that's kind of what I've continued to do. Even after, I made the mistake of bringing in a marketer who I'm not going to mention his name. And that ended up becoming really bad. He split the community and started a bunch of drama, and I'm just not really into drama at all. So I ended up saying, if this is what you want the community to be, if you want the people to follow you, then go ahead. I mean, if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. And I left. He ended up slandering me all over the internet. It was a mess. And then I kind of went, back behind the scenes after that. And I kept doing what I was doing though. And I kept, getting developers to work together, building teams, getting other things going. And then I looked into Qora, which is the project that I took over in 2016. So if you want me to go into any more detail on any of that, just let me know, and we can go from there.
Yeah, no, that's all right. And I understand about the marketing guy. The marketing people are kind of deadly because I threaten people sometimes. You know, I had some guy on the phone the other day. I was like, if you don't cancel my fucking membership, I'm gonna make an article all about your business. $800. It'll be in Forbes magazine by the end of the week.
Yeah, but the stuff that he was doing to me was straight up bullshit. Like he was literally making up nonsense and saying that it was me doing it, or saying that it happened to me, or saying that it was just complete nonsense. And so I just was like, you know what? If he was saying stuff that I actually did, I stand behind everything I've done, whether it's good or bad. There's not a whole lot of bad that I've done, or stupid things, or whatever, things that have not turned out well. I'll stand behind it. I am who I am. I did what I did. I'm not going to say I didn't when I did. And so that's fine. If you're saying legit things, fine, whatever. But this dude was making up nonsense. And that is where I was really like, okay, I don't really feel like I need to fight the nonsense, because that just makes more nonsense. And so I was like, I'm just going to let time heal this. And I walked away. And I told everybody what was happening. I ran a few assets on the chain. And I told everybody that, they can either, if they want to talk to me about what's going to happen with these assets, they can do so. Told them a method to contact me. Or I said, here's a buy order on the books, and you can sell into that if you want to. And, that's what happened. A lot of people did. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people came and talked to me, and, they're still with me today. So, it was just a lot of craziness, a lot of drama. I didn't want to deal with it. And I wanted to keep focusing on the tech.
I remember the name. The guy's name was White Tiger.
Oh.
Right?
What? Which one? Which one? Oh no, H.
His name was Tiger or Big Tiger.
Iron Tiger.
Iron Tiger. That's the one.
Yeah. No, that was way back in the day. He's actually still working with me. Yeah, he's actually my main UI developer for the new Qora UI that we're putting together.
Dude, it's like 4 years ago now.
I've had most people stick around. Yeah. He takes the time to help. Yeah.
3-4 hours on me, bro. I was amazed. I loved the burst after him. I was like,
right. And I do the same type of thing, right? If I'm helping out a project, the main thing is to get people who like the project. And you can't like a project if you have no idea how to use it or make it work or any of that. So, I take time out of my day, even though I've got so much going on. I'm really, really busy all the time. I'll take time out of my day to help anybody. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to ask anything from you. If you have questions, you want to be involved, and you don't know how, I'm going to see if I can make it so that you do know how, because that's what this is all about, right? Like, that's what the open source movement is all about. That's what all the blockchain stuff is all about.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, it's because of Iron Tiger I met you, because at one point he needed to bring in the bigger guns. And he's like, oh, we got to call in the big guns.
Yeah, the thing is with me is that I know everybody, right? Like, for whatever reason, I'm a type that I can get along with pretty much anyone, and come to find out that's kind of rare. And so just because of that, I end up having contacts with almost everybody and getting along with almost everybody, and then I can facilitate needs being met from those people. So that's why I end up getting brought into most situations.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'd like to say the same. I do get angry at specific types of people.
Yeah. Well, that's forgivable in most cases.
Like people that get angry for no reason, or feel like they're carrying like all the work on their shoulders without asking for help. And I mean, there's just no excuse for some people. But and then at that point, I don't even like to argue. I just like to leave. I just leave. And
I know that's what I do too. Yeah. I've done that a couple times.
You got to move away from the negativity and just jump into the positivity.
And that's why I just decided to let time heal the BS that was going on, and eventually all that, or most of that stuff, is dropped off the internet, and it's been proven to be BS, and people just don't listen to it anymore. So yeah, for a while there, I was having a lot of people coming up and questioning me, and like I would be like, "What are you even talking about?" And they'd send me a link. I'm like, "Oh God, that guy again." Yeah, but yeah, and by this point, people realize what's real and what isn't for the most part. So time heals all.
Yeah, and just stay away from the drama. I mean, I was on a team once, I think, and some R&R guy was causing drama, man. And I just bounced. I was like, listen, I'm gonna go do my own thing. You guys take care of this.
Yep.
So you mentioned Qora. What's that?
Yeah, Qora. So it's spelled Qora. A lot of people get it confused with the Quora, whatever that is, like some communications platform. Yeah, so Qora is actually the first coin with Burst. So back in the day, before atomic cross-chain transfers were even known about thing, Burst and Qora were the first two to ever execute one. So in the history of blockchain, they were the first two. And I have news stories and stuff that I've saved from a long time ago to show that. If you're interested in those, I can find them later and give them to you. But yeah, so Burst and Qora were the first ones to actually execute a cross-chain transfer on a live blockchain. So because of that, I started looking into Qora. And what I found was a completely custom blockchain platform written from the ground up. So a few of the things that I ended up not liking about Burst and the underlying Next platform, there's some bugs and the code base is a little dirty and some things like that. It's just like, having developers to work on stuff like that, it's a little harder. So, I prefer to have something that I can give to a developer that they're going to be like, okay, I don't mind working on this, as opposed to bashing their head against the wall. So I started looking into Qora, and, this completely custom platform really caught my eye because, there are not very many of those. Almost everybody else is a clone of Bitcoin or a clone of Ethereum or whatever, right? And the fact that it was able to execute that cross-chain transfer meant that it had the same smart contract language. And I was already in communications with the smart contract development team, Siam, and their leader there. I'm not sure if I'm going to mention his name unless he gives me the okay to do so. But anyways, so I had already talked with him and I was familiar with that. And I liked that a lot. The smart contract language was really something that was very unique and very cool and very powerful. So that was really cool. And then Qora, on top of that, provided functionality to actually host blogs, completely decentralized, websites, completely decentralized. And I thought the power of Qora's platform was incredible. So that was something that really caught my eye.
I never heard of this Qora, man. You got to.
Yeah.
You brought back IP. I'm thinking IPFS when you're saying this. So IPFS, is it the same thing as IPFS?
No, it's actually totally custom. Everything that Qora does is written for Qora, by Qora. It's literally almost everything that's part of Qora is completely custom. So the way that Qora works right now and versus the way that we're making it work are a little bit different. But the way it works right now is what I'll go into because that's what's running and up right now. So the existing chain, it exists still, regardless of the fact that the public-facing mentions of Qora are basically gone. A lot of people assume it to be dead. It was delisted from Poloniex, and once that happened, and then it was really dead, right? Because once you're not on an exchange, you're not a coin or whatever. So I don't know. The whole community thing behind that gets a little weird. But yeah, so Qora does exist still. I did kind of keep the chain alive myself with my, I've got a network of servers all over the world, and I ran a bunch of different nodes all over the world and kept the chain running. And I knew that I was going to be able to get development going, and that's what we ended up doing later. So in 2016 is when my team actually stepped in. I knew the old development team because when I first started looking into Qora, I always go and I start talking to the developers to start getting a feel for who they are, what they can do, all that, because I can understand code on a level that most people can't. I can understand all these platforms on a level that a lot of people can't. So I just go in and kind of do some sleuthing and figure things out, right? So I got in touch with the development team, the original development team, and made friends with them. And then, they kind of had to step away for one reason or another. It was life that got in the way, really. And so then I came in 2016 and asked the community, just like I did with Burst, and said, look, I would like to kind of take a leadership role in the development side of things. I can't really promise doing any sort of public facing stuff because it's really not, I stopped focusing on that after that whole thing with the last thing in Burst. So I was not really interested in doing the marketing side of things, but I wanted to, lead development. And of course, the community was always behind that. They knew who I was. They knew, what I did for Burst, and they overlooked all the BS because they knew it was BS. Yeah, a few people or whatever, but it doesn't matter. And so we took over that development. The first issue that was really an issue in Qora was some issues when it shut down and it would cause problems. And so we ended up having to rewrite the entire database. The database that they used was no longer developed by the database developer. So it was like something where we either had to completely port it over to his new version, which would have made it completely rewritten, or we had to write our own version of the existing version and fix it. And so that's what we ended up doing for what I'm calling Generation 1, which is the currently running chain of Qora. And so now it's stable. We've released about 6 releases since we started the development. And now we've gotten it to a place where I have halted development on Generation 1 because it's stable, it's good, and we're not really going anywhere else with that core code, because now we have taken and completely rewritten it into a completely new generation of code for the core, which I'm calling Generation 2, which is already being utilized to form 1 clone, and 3 other are planned. And of course, utilizing it to make the next phase of the existing coins. So it's a little confusing because there's like 2 code bases right now, and it's not really out there in the public yet for people to see and things like that. So I haven't really structured it all yet, but I have a really good idea in my head, and I've said some things that are going to happen in the Discord for the people to see. But it's a small community right now because it's really kind of underground, but that's about to change, and that's why I'm starting to kind of do interviews like this and get the word out a little bit and start letting people know what's going to happen.
Awesome. What is there a website yet?
Yeah, I mean, I do have the original Qora.org domain, but the only things that are up on it right now is docs.Qora.org and api.Qora.org because it's only for development. But I am going to get another website set up because I'm, the only one right now that really knows all the ideas that are going to be made because I'm talking directly to the Qora developer who I, implemented. And so now I'm going to have to kind of put up a base website just to get the ideas out there. But yeah, that'll be happening over the next couple weeks.
Will the website be on Qora?
Yeah, it'll be Qora.org.
Will it be made on Qora?
Oh, no. Yeah, we can, yes. So actually Qora can host websites, blogs, a bunch of things. So, but the problem right now, or I guess it's not really a problem, but it's a limitation, I guess. There's a couple limitations with the stuff that they set up, the original developers, and this is something that we're going to fix eventually as well. The way you have to put files onto the chain, because the files are actually stored on the Qora blockchain. And I can give you a couple links and show you what I mean. But you can actually put files onto the Qora blockchain. Every file you put there, you can get to the source code by doing a slash and adding some words to it. And you can see the source code. So it's really, really cool. However, the way that they did it makes it so that you have to do multiple transactions yourself and upload pieces of the code in each transaction. They didn't automate that, and I never really understood why, because that's a huge limitation as far as actually putting a website onto the Qora chain. However, we're not really going to be focusing on the website hosting portion of Qora quite yet, so I'm not really going to be doing anything in that regard quite yet.
Maybe if they automated it, somebody would have lost.
Yes. I know, right? Yeah, no, it's really cool because the code and the ability to view the source and everything is already there. And I can show you some stuff that's already on the chain and already hosted on Qora, so you can see what I'm talking about. But I have a fully custom written Slack alternative for communications that has rooms and everything, and it's hosted on Qora. Yeah, no, I had a prototype built. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff on Qora that I think if people knew about, they'd be like, holy shit.
Are you allowed to show people that?
Oh, yeah, I can show this to you. I showed that prototype off a couple of years ago.
Well, you know what? If you say it live right here, people are going to go to it.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. So the way you can get to it is, well, there's a couple different ways, right? So the thing is that people don't really understand what decentralized means. And the way I explain it in a simple way is, can you access it by only accessing your local host? If you can access it by accessing your local host and having a wallet installed, then it's decentralized. If you can't, then it's not. So if you have a Qora wallet installed, and I can give you all the information on how to download that, just search Qora GitHub, and you'll get to the Qora Coin GitHub. and you can download the newest release right there on the releases, just like any other coin. You can install that, and then you can access this link, which I can post or I can explain or tell you or whatever you want me to do. And you can get to the platform that way. Or if you don't want to install a wallet and you just want to test it out, I have hosted Qora nodes that you can basically proxy through. And you'll hit that node and it'll get you to the platform through a hosted node. So there's multiple ways to access it because it is decentralized.
Is the URL complicated to say out loud?
A little bit. I mean, it would be.
It looks like a hash.
So I'm in the process also of redoing a lot of my servers. So I have to double check something real quick. Let me double check and then I'll give you a link real quick.
Send it to me afterwards and I'll put it in the description.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to go about it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, let's not waste any time looking for stuff. But you know what? That is so needed right now. A decentralized Discord is so needed. It's
Yeah.
I delete all my information lately. Everything like if I go back and I find old posts from 2 years ago, I'm deleting them. There's no reason to hold on to that. That's being stored on a centralized server somewhere.
Right, and that's out of all of the communication platforms, I do like Discord the best, but still, they are storing the information. They have it on their servers. They have control over it. And that, goes against the whole principle of decentralization and, person-to-person communications. And that's what I wanted to get rid of. And so that platform exists already. The only thing that was necessary in order to make it quote unquote free, because right now it utilizes actual transactions. So it utilizes pending transactions and coin to actually send messages. So, but it's real time. You can see it immediately. But it actually you have to have coins in your wallet in order to utilize it. What we are doing now is developing what are called transient transactions, which are free, right? So they don't have a coin tied to them. You don't have to actually send coin in order to utilize it. So that would make it a free platform. So that is another thing that we're adding into the code, and I believe it's completed now. So
yeah, free is good. Like that.
Yeah.
Like I started looking into other coins, and I went into this one coin, and I saw this guy, red beard, and he was yelling at people, and at one point he was right, man. Yeah, I mean if it takes more than an hour to download a wallet, I mean no mainstream person's gonna do it, and if you gotta pay to download that wallet. Yeah, that's not going to work either. There's nobody in Africa paying for your fucking wallet. So, and am I wrong? I mean,
no.
And I'm talking about EOS over here, fuck EOS.
I know, right? Don't even get me started there.
And they're like, oh, they got all their reasons why, EOS is the right way. And, but at the end of the day, how I see it, you're fucking lazy, man. You didn't fucking create, you gave up a perfectly good blockchain, and people who know me know which coin I'm talking about. You gave up a perfectly good blockchain for EOS, because you got lazy. And you didn't want to.
No. What it really is, if you really wanted to know, it was about greed, and that's all it really was. It was about greed and influencing the Ethereum chain and having control over the Ethereum chain as far as the monetary coin portion of it. Because what they did is did an ICO. And not only did they do an ICO, but they did it on top of the Ethereum chain so that they could obtain a crap load of Ethereum, which they did. And now they control Ethereum. And they also made a shitload of money before they actually did anything. And so that's ICOs are scams. And we've already known that for a long time. I mean, it used to be a thing, right? ICO equals scam. I mean, I don't know what happened to that, because in 2018, it seemed like ICO equals win to everybody.
I remember back in the day when an ICO was like once every 3 months, once every 2 months.
Right, and actually Qora was one of the first ICOs, and that's one of the things I didn't like about it. I've never liked ICOs ever, and I wasn't part of the initial ICO, but the only reason it was an ICO is because it was proof of stake, and it was their custom proof of stake algo, obviously, because everything's custom, like I said. But yeah, they had to have coin in order to move the chain. So the only way they could do a launch is to do it in an ICO. They only made it something like 100 Bitcoin, or not even 100 Bitcoin. And that was back when Bitcoin was worth what? Less than $1,000 or something. you know, they were just helping the networks, really, like utilizing the coins and whatever. But it was a real project, though. The project was developed already. Like, they were launching the project. They launched the ICO after the project was already done, and you know, they did it the right way. If you're gonna do an ICO, they did it the right way.
Right. All right. Well, so Qora has. Let's get a little technical. What's the algorithm, and you know, what's the supply look like, and you know, is it mineable? Can I mine it?
Okay, so the coin as it sits right now, as I said, it was around for a long time. It was launched in 2014. There were a few flaws that they made, or mistakes that they made, in my opinion. One of those was doing the ICO at all. The other was making it POS. I mean, it's a custom POS algo. It's different. It's kind of cool, but I still don't really like POS as an algo at all. So that's that. And also, they made the release, and they made the release schedule way too quick, in my opinion. So right now, there were the total cap is 10 billion. And right now, there are a total of 10 billion coins in existence. So it is, quote unquote, mined out, right? And that made another difficult thing for me as the person taking over the project, as what do we do with this since it's already mined out, right? And that's something that I'm still, you know, coming to a final solution on, and I'm still talking with the community to see, you know, I run all of my ideas by the community to see, you know, what the response is, and, you know, if anybody has any contributions to make to it or any suggestions or whatever, because that's how I think things should be done. So I don't just talk, I do everything the way I think things should be done. And I think, you know, that's how everybody should do things. So, but anyways, it's
always get the community involved. The
right.
Community is the lifeline.
Exactly. So I run every idea by the community. And if anybody has anything negative to say about it, I mean, if they're not just trolling me, then I'll say, okay, go ahead and please tell me what you think and why you think that. And then I will rework the idea if he's got a point.
Yeah, of course, of course. You say you don't like POS? Really?
I mean, it's
out on Twitter and said POS is the future.
I mean, you know, a lot of people seem to think that, but their only basis for saying that is because of the power usage, and I think that's debunked. I think that's a flawed logic.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just messing around. I don't like the fact that if you have a shit ton of money, you start making more shit tons of money.
Exactly.
Some of the coin, you know, and on top of it, you know, you're telling me that it's saving energy on the planet because you're leaving a green footprint or whatever the hell they say these days, and you know, and no one's gonna mine it if they take down those farms. No one's gonna mine it. That's bullshit, dude.
That's
Bitcoin
such bullshit.
Went down, ASICs went down.
Then everybody would be running it on their CPU.
Yeah. I'm taking out CPUs, bro. I'm gonna take
exactly, and the mining actually, it gives an underlying inherent value, right? Because of all the hardware that's going into that mining, that hardware has value, and that hardware then gives the coin value.
Well, so back in the day, that's you know, when you couldn't easily buy Bitcoin, you had to mine it.
Yep.
You know, so paying the electric bill was kind of like the way you get the coin.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and that's how I looked at mining since I started mining, is to acquire as many coins as I can while not utilizing those coins to pay the power bill, and that's the only way that I was ever able to make any money in crypto, like for real, because I pay for all of this development. I've put over $120,000 into Qora development. I put thousands and thousands into Burst development. I put thousands and thousands into a bunch of other development projects, and they're all coming from my pocket. And my pocket came from me being smart with the mining that I did.
Yep, and you know what? Another way I look at it, it's a good way of killing the dollar.
Exactly.
You know, because you're giving them their shitty fiat back, right? Goddamn dollars that aren't worth anything and backed by absolutely nothing, and
being converted into something useful.
I'll take that crypto. You know, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So
but anyways,
the proof of work is actually, you know, making the new money come faster, right? Every few hundred years, money changes, right? I mean so fiat is going to change into some type of blockchain cryptocurrency.
I do believe that the USD coin is already a start of that. I think the one that Poloniex, after they were bought by JP Morgan, they implemented it. Coinbase implemented it. The USD coin, not the Tether, but the USD coin. I believe that may become the new US dollar, if I'm not, looking at this in a completely skewed mindset. But anyway, so Qora is, it's POS right now, which is cool because it's a custom POS algo, so it works differently than other POS, but it's still the same idea, like where you have more coins, you make more coins. And I don't like that. So, that is one of the things that I'm solving with what we're going to turn Qora into. And it took me a lot of thinking and a lot of bouncing ideas off developers to see if it would even work, and a lot of work to make this idea come to fruition, or to make it even possible. And what is going to ultimately happen is we are going to take the existing Qora and turn it into what I'm going to call Portal, which with like portal with a Q, right? And it's going to be a totally decentralized trade portal where you're going to be able to, and we already have the backend functionality for direct cross-chain transfers with Bitcoin at first, and then whatever other supported coin we decide to add into the core, it will be part of the Qora wallet. So you will install the Qora wallet, which will then have a Java implementation of a Bitcoin core in it, and it will allow you to then put Bitcoin in your Qora wallet, and it will allow you to then trade that Bitcoin with another user directly for Qora.
Is that kind of like what do they call those instant barter decks?
I'm not using the word DEX because all the DEXs I've seen so far are not DEXs, so I don't want to use that word. I'm going to use a trade portal. That's what I'm calling it. And it's going to be a truly decentralized, truly cross-chain, nobody in between at all. No gateways, no nonsense, none of this, whatever the hell they're doing and calling it a DEX, which isn't, and none of that. So it will be directly across chain.
I know you haven't looked much into Komodo. I mean, but you should come over, man. I mean, you should.
I will take a look at it before I say anything. I would like to take a look. I'll say that. I don't talk about anything unless I have experience with it. So I want to check it out. Yeah. Let's do it.
The developers, bro. The developers are really they speak like you. So I feel like I'm speaking to them too. They're all like-minded. They're like-minded people, man. They know some DEXs.
All right.
I've heard that from them.
Most of them, including Crypto Bridge, they all have a centralized aspect to them.
Yeah. So check it out, man. And see if you could add Qora to their wallet, their multi-wallet, because they have.
So right now the community is all upset because we don't have a method to actually trade right now. And I'm like, guys, yeah, I get it, okay? And they're all wanting to get listed back on Poloniex or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to touch a centralized exchange. I mean, yeah, you guys can push for it if you want to. It's a community project. I'm not saying that whatever I say goes, but this is not what I'm going to focus on. So if you guys want to do that, that's your prerogative. But I don't think it's a good idea. I've seen too many centralized exchanges disappear. I've seen too many coins get screwed over because of that. And I just don't want it to happen. So, if you want to push that, fine, do it. But, I don't care. And for right now, I'm focused on building the portal. And that right there will then alleviate that problem.
Nice. Yeah, what baby steps, one step at a time. Just not, don't make every step 2 years long, but
Well, this one's already done. The back end of the portal exists already. We have not only implemented the smart contract language into the second generation core, we have also implemented the Bitcoin core. We have the smart contract created already for the cross chain. So everything on the back end is. All we need now is the UI that facilitates the backend commands and talks to the API and does what it needs to do. And that is in development now. I've got 3 developers on it right now.
Ah, very nice. Very cool, man.
So yeah, we're close. The new wallet is done. So yeah, we're getting close. Right? No, it's not. No, it is not.
You heard it here first. Yeah, Lutz bringing you the scoop.
Yes, that is very true. So that's what Qora right now is going to become. It will be the trade portal. So then what I'm going to do with that is, because it's already mined out, and because I want to give value to the existing holders, because I told them I would do that. That's really the only reason, because I'm not even a significant holder myself. I was not part of the initial ICO, and I bought all of my coins when they delisted from Poloniex. So I am just another community member as far as holding coins goes.
Right. And that's what GitHub's all about, man. Everybody contributes something, right?
Exactly. So I am now, going to turn Qora into that trade portal, which will then give value to the people. And I'm going to then change the algorithm. And I have talked with the developer about this, and my idea can work. And he is on his way to developing it for me. And I believe he's probably done with it because he's extremely fast. But what we're going to do is take and modify Qora's POS algo a little bit. So the way it works right now is there's a thing that ends up getting created called the generating balance. And that balance right now is derived from your coin count. So your coin count then gives you another number called the generating balance. That generating balance, the higher it is, the stronger you mine, right? So what I'm going to do is take that and modify the way the generating balance is created. And instead of being based on coin count, it is going to be based on orders on the trade portal. So the trade portal is going to have order books just like any other exchange. And you will place orders there, and those orders will then get implemented onto the blockchain. So those orders will be stored on the blockchain. And because they're stored on the blockchain, I can then take and make another number from those numbers. And it's going to be basically the larger the order you have, the more liquidity you're providing, you're going to be a market maker. As a market maker, you're going to get paid the fees, which the fees are going to be derived from modification of the order a little bit. So when you place an order, it's going to be modified a little bit. So there's not actually a fee, but your order, the number of coins changes a little bit. You'll get a little bit added onto it, and that extra amount then becomes a fee. And that fee will then get paid to those liquidity providers along with the overall network transaction fees. So you will then get the fees from the exchange and the fees from every transaction executed on the Qora chain.
Oh, wow. That's really in depth there. You have a white paper yet?
Not quite. This idea I came up with about like 3 weeks ago, I think, and it's pretty much already done being developed, so that's pretty quick. But I'm gonna write up a quick paper on it. Everything's gonna be done over the next couple of weeks. This is why I started pushing things now, because we're finally to the point where I feel confident enough in saying that we're gonna be done soon. Before, I never gave dates. I don't do roadmaps. I don't do, like, oh, then quarter whatever 2026. No, I don't care. You can't. The way I've always said it is that you cannot put a timeline on completely custom and completely prototype type development. It's stupid. Like, why would I try to push a specific completion date on something that the developer doesn't even know how he's going to accomplish it yet, doesn't even know if there's tools available to accomplish it, or if he'll have to develop those tools too. Like, we were literally pushing Linux development for a while, trying to get something built that they needed to implement into one of their encryption libraries that they didn't have. And so I cannot put a timeline on this kind of development, and people don't really kind of grasp it, I guess. But it's so custom that you can't. Yeah.
You know what? There are people that grasp it. If you've been here a while, you'll understand that timelines don't mean shit. Roadmaps don't mean anything.
Yep.
Because things go wrong, things get delayed, and you know what? In development, it takes a long time to develop stuff. I mean, I worked for a Fortune 30 company. And there was the network. I was on the networking side, but there was the developer side too, right? And the developers, man, they're always working on the same problem over and over again, debugging, and it takes a long time to build these things.
And this is in a custom space, like it's in the blockchain space, which is already on the cutting edge, right? And we're on the cutting edge of the cutting edge. And there may not even be stuff that's ever been done like this before. And in most cases of the stuff that I'm coming up with they're like ideas that I come up with off the top of my head, or another developer comes up with, and we're just like, well, let's see how this can work. And so if we make up this idea in a cutting edge space, nobody's going to have done this before. So we have no idea how it's going to be done. We know we can do it. We know how we're going to do it in one way or another. And we have to like kind of get there, right? So there's no way to say how long that's going to take.
Wow, awesome, bro! And I'm really excited about the decentralized Discord. That's something very needed, right? A lot of people are looking for solutions to get off decentralized problems. And so back to my original, dude, how do I get some Qora? If I wanted to get some, how do I get?
So the only way right now is to get into the Qora Discord, where most of the holders that have paid attention are still around, and you can do an OTC with one of these guys. I can escrow it for you if you'd like, and that's basically the only way to acquire Qora right now, until we get the portal functioning and working, and then there will be order books, but then I'm assuming the price will probably be higher. So right now you got to put a little effort into it, but it'll probably reward you pretty sufficiently for that effort.
That's impossible, bro. I gotta go talk to people.
Yep, you gotta talk to people right now.
All right.
But so the next idea,
I'll put some bribes out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now I've seen people selling as cheap as like 5 Satoshi. And if I see that again, I'm going to make sure to buy as much as I can. Because, yeah, like I said, I'm not even a huge holder myself. So I'm looking to buy as much as I can get too. It's really not that easy to get Qora right now, but it will be very soon. And, that's when it's going to, start seeing price increases as well. So also we have an issue that I'm trying to find a way to resolve with the community right now, is because so many coins have been lost because of Poloniex, and, they delisted.
I was going to ask you about that. When a coin dies and you try to, you're a nice guy by helping this community, because they probably would have all been fucked.
Right.
At some point, right?
Yeah, I guarantee it. Yeah.
Get up the project anymore, right?
Yeah, there's nobody in their right mind who would have done this, and I'm just not in my right mind, so it's fine.
So many coins. I'm sure people just deleted their wallets at some point, or
oh yeah, so many coins have been lost. Yeah.
People lost that own it. They don't
yeah.
come back anymore.
Oh yeah, people have left the space entirely, I'm sure. Yeah, so there's right now I can't even accurately tell you how many coins are still quote unquote live right now. And also I know for a fact that one very large holder has lost 700 and something million coins. So I don't even know how many exist. But yeah, I know. Yeah, that was quite valuable at 25 sats or whatever.
What's the total supply of the coin?
It's supposedly 10 billion. I mean, it's supposedly 10 billion. And of course, the Block Explorer you can see and you can find them, but I don't even know how to say which coins are still accessible or not, right? Like, so that's another problem, and something that I'm like trying to figure out, should we up the cap? Because that's going to be a possibility here soon. When we do this implementation of the portal and the next gen core, we're going to need to do a hard fork. So when we do that hard fork, we could up the cap. And I'm like trying to talk with the community right now and see, what do you guys want to do?
I mean, why don't you just create a whole new chain and have them just...
Yeah, we're doing that too. Yeah. But that's not going to be Qora. It'll be another project. Yeah, that's definitely, and I can talk about that too, because I have that all planned out too. But the next gen core is going to be starting multiple new projects. One of them will be my project, and that will be a communications focused project. So it will be the one that will be more focused on the communications and the hosting and the things like that. And I have a really, really unique method to make that whole platform really cool. And it will end up forming a legitimate voting system, not based on coin count, not based on, who yells the loudest, none of that, like whatever the hell these voting systems are based off right now. It'll actually be something that is legitimate and that could actually be utilized to prove that there's a person behind the accounts. And not only that, to prove that, that person is a legit and upstanding member of the community. So it's going to be really, really cool.
Oh, very, very nice. Right, there's a lot of people trying to solve that consensus problem, the voting problem. Like EOS, I mean, you can't base it on the amount of coins you have. That's not fair to the little guys,
Right.
A lot of it is just not fair.
So to give you a little hint, I mean, in order to make something that's truly fair, you have to have something that you can come in as a nobody, quote unquote nobody, and you can do beneficial tasks to the network, providing good content, for instance. And you can start from ground zero and you can work your way up. And it doesn't matter whether you're hugely popular or not, but you can still make your account gain in level once your account hits a certain level, and it'll be a long time in the making, it's not something that you'll be able to jump into and make your account a high level over a short period of time, because that's not going to make something that's legitimate. It has to be over a long time frame. So if you're somebody who's going to jump in and you're going to be doing beneficial things for the network, you're going to be helping things out, you're going to be hosting nodes, you're going to be, helping in one way or another, good content, hosting nodes, whatever, then you are going to be over time leveling your account up. Once your account gets to a certain level, which I haven't decided yet, I don't know the time frames yet. We have to go over all that. But once it gets to that level, then you are considered a solid vote, right? That's when you get to the solid voting. It's not something that can happen overnight.
All right. That sounds great, bro. Oh, we're going on almost an hour now.
Yeah, no worries.
Is there any information you want to throw out there? To tell maybe some resources people could look to.
Just basically to give a few things that we do have running right now. If you wanted to support the underlying team that's getting all this stuff done, you could mine on cryptopool.party. Cryptopool.party is our mining pool that we run right now. And we also have a couple other platforms we're going to be launching here very soon. One of them for Polytimos coin, which is a relatively unknown coin to most people, but we have stepped in to help out with the development there. So you might want to check out polytimos.net. And there's a small forum that's not very active right now, but you can also check out the Discord. There's a link there, and you can get involved in that community and in the cryptopool.party community. And I will continually post updates. I just wanted to kind of get the name Qora out there a little bit, and to let people know that things are going to start happening here in the very near future. I don't say that until it's ready to happen, and right now I can firmly say that it is. So I wanted to start letting people know.
Woot woot.
And I'll give you some links to post to.
I saw that Hump Day commercial. What day is it? Crowetic? What day is it?
I don't know. I don't watch TV, so I have no idea.
Day.
Oh, yeah, I could have said that. Yeah, probably. It's like, all I know is like, what's up? Like, that's from like forever ago. I have no idea.
Hump Day's here. Yeah,
I literally do not watch TV.
It's a commercial. Hey, I don't watch TV either, man. I don't know how people do it for so long.
I don't watch YouTube or anything either.
I watch educational stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
I like to watch the Milton Friedman, YouTube, just to, because I have a very forgetful memory, so I got to
me too.
Keep learning the same stuff over and over again.
That's how you get to know it for real. When you say you know something, then you really know it, because you're definitely like me, because I don't remember anything unless I'm continually doing it.
I think I have a leak, bro. I think something new.
You have a memory leak.
Yeah,
we're gonna fix that. I got some developers that might be able to help with that. But yeah, it was good chat, man. I'll give you some links. I'll show you that the platform, the communications one we made is called Quoth. I like to play on the Q on Qora because it's a lot of fun. So Quoth, like Quoth the Raven, Nevermore, is the name of the prototype I had put together. I'll give links out for that. People can check that out. It's a little bit difficult to use because it's literally not even an alpha. It's a prototype. So I'll explain how to use it. You can see messages that are there that I've posted for people, just showing people. But yeah, I'll post some other stuff too for you. All right. So this way, I'm going to give you a link directly to my node 5, which is one of my hosted nodes, and that will allow you to access it without installing anything. So it's like an easy way to show it.
All right, sounds good.
But you can also access this with a local installed wallet if you want to try it that way, and I'll give that link here.
Yeah. I'll throw all the links in there. Whatever links you have, or the ones we've spoken about, you just throw them right there. So, because there are people listening at the moment, surprisingly.
Right. I tend to go on and not really make a whole lot of sense to most people. So yeah.
I think me and you think on the same wavelength.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
And I'm more than willing to chat with, some people if they want to come in and just chat and, get more information or get more in depth about what I'm talking about. And I can show off more stuff. I can do that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, these people, dude. I mean, I was talking to I had a show a couple days ago, and I had 5 developers on it at the same time. You would have loved to be.
Nice. Yeah.
It would have been awesome if you were there, bro. You would have. It would have been like the meeting of the minds.
Yeah, no, I have fun with that kind of stuff for sure. Okay, so I gave you a link there. That is to one of my hosted nodes in the Quoth prototype, and then you can download the Qora wallet. I gave the link to the Qora GitHub there, and you can see how active that is and how many releases we've done recently. And then I'll give you the link right now for how to access it once you have your Qora wallet installed and synced, and you can access it with your local.
Awesome. And please, dude, take a look at adding your chain to Komodo. You know, I think.
Yeah, I need to talk to some guys about that.
You could do it on GitHub yourself. I think it's like you know.
Well, the problem is that since Qora is totally custom, any of their methods they've used before are not going to apply. So I'll have to talk to the developer.
All right. Yeah, I know they've put in a few different algos. You know, so I know it's possible for many chains to jump in.
Yeah, this one is, like I said, it's not like anything else. It's literally its own thing. So we'll have to talk. I could talk with them and see what we need to do. But it's probably we need to add something into the code base and then.
Dude, that's a loopback address 127.0.0.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's localhost.
Okay, so you got to install it first, then you put it, and then.
Yep. Then you access it via hitting your own system. Yeah. That's how you know something's truly decentralized, if you can access it via hitting your own computer. And nothing else.
Yep. I've said the same thing. We gotta get rid of the dependency on DNS and you know.
Yep. And oh yeah, that's another thing that Qora has is a naming system, so it can be utilized for DNS type things, but on its own network. So basically, QoraNet is going to be the future of the internet if I have my way.
It sounds to me like an alternative to IPFS.
It's an alternative to a whole lot, man. And if I have my way, what we're going to be able to do is develop applications that run on top of that, which we can already do. But there's not a lot of people really thinking the way that I am about it. But utilizing something like, what's it called? I always forget the name of it, but there's a JavaScript development tool that you can use that, Eclipse, or no. Damn it, I always forget. But there's a JavaScript thing that you can do. You can do development that ends up making desktop applications that are accessible via a web interface, and they run and they look like desktop applications, and you can write programs that act like that. And Qora can host JavaScript, HTML, and CSS right now in the existing version, all client-side languages. And if we write programs written in those client-side languages that then make desktop applications, essentially we're making a decentralized operating system that runs on a blockchain.
Oh wow, that's you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's further than IPFS, because IPFS you could only use
it's data, yeah.
HTML, PHP, and
no, PHP is server side, so you can actually use PHP.
Yeah, you use PHP on.
Interesting. So I think that's what our developer has implemented that support in the next generation core. So we're actually going to be able to do server side stuff in the next generation.
But they can't do JS. I'm sorry. No, I'm lying.
PHP is server side, yeah.
PHP. Yeah. PHP
right.
Can't do it's just.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
Something called IPJS, and I've built a site on it before, just using a regular straight up HTML template, nothing more.
Yep. You can do that on Qora right now too, yeah.
And that's the best way to do it. If you're not good at building a website, just find the theme. You could buy one for like $2. Just straight up HTML, none of the fancy stuff in it. Straight up, easy HTML5 would be preferable, right? And and then edit it. You just go into the back and just edit what you don't like, and that's it. You're up and running on a new network.
Yep, you can do the same exact thing with Qora. You register a name in the Qora naming system, and then you have, like I have there with the /quothprototype, that's a name that's tied to a Qora private key. So you register a name, it's tied to your private key, and then that name, you can then upload, whatever files you want in JS, CSS, HTML, and that goes to your website. So then you have 127.0.0.1.90.90/ whatever your name is, and that's, how do you get to the website.
Very, very nice, bro. I'm excited.
Just wait to see what we've done with this. Ooh, it's so fun.
Dude, you remember those times when Bitcoin was like at 600 and we waited forever, bro? What do we wait? Like a year for it to go up?
Oh, yeah.
It was a long time, but you know what? the feeling in the crypto space right now feels like that time.
Yep, that energy's coming back. Yep.
Yeah, everyone's collecting their bags, you know, getting a little bit of this, getting a little bit of that, right? And because it's going to happen again.
And this time, people are going to be more well informed, and they're not going to be buying into these stupid ICOs, wasting all their money and getting pissed off and leaving. Things are changing, I think. I can kind of feel it, and I like it. And the real projects like Qora and a lot of others that have been developing and quiet and not saying a bunch of stuff and yelling about it and just doing work and building cool stuff, those guys are going to be the ones that start to shine here. And that's what is going to be a lot of fun.
Vote McAfee. Sorry, I had to throw that plug.
Well, yeah, he's a little crazy, but I like him.
2020 McAfee.
I'd go for it. Hey, we elected who we did, you know, so anything's possible, you know what I mean?
Why? Because it's gonna make me filthy rich. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not here. I'm not gonna play games and play politics, dude. What? Everybody votes for the president that's gonna give them the most, right? Whether you're downside of society or on the upside, right? That's how they vote. That's how everybody votes. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna start.
Or you don't vote like me.
Oh yeah. You know, this guy has a better policy, and this guy, no. You're voting for him because you're gonna get more from that guy. Come on, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So I'm just gonna be honest. If he gets in, I'm gonna be rich. So it's cool.
Nice. I like it. All right, cool. We're going with that then.
what other president is Bitcoin happy, right?
Right. I'm down with that for sure.
I'm pretty sure he probably won't get voted in, but you know what?
Most likely not.
Power of the internet, bro. You don't know. I
mean, honestly, look at who's in office now. I mean, but I love it because he's gonna just show how much of a circus the whole system really is, and it's great.
Yeah. And I want a president that curses, bro. I'm sorry.
Is it if Bitcoin ain't 100K, I'll eat my own dick. Fucking some shit.
Yeah, but that's great. That's real.
It's hilarious.
I'm tired of it. You know, every time one of these politician guys talk, they're all lying. I don't trust any of them.
Right.
And, you know, at least this guy is talking about fucking whales. You know, I'm good with that.
Yeah. It's just fine. It's cool. It's my language. It's okay. All right, man. I gotta get going. I'm actually on a vacation right now, up in Tahoe. No worries, dude. I was the one who missed our thing earlier, so this is my bad.
All right, brother. Thank you for hitting me up. It's no big deal. Wait.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot more.
All right, brother. Have fun on your vacation. All right, later.
All right, later.
This is Lutz. This is Lutz. I love all of you out there also, and I'm sorry for the late show. If you missed it, don't worry. It will be posted on Radio R. It'll be posted in 100 different social media accounts, and you should definitely not miss it. So, hit me up if you have something interesting. If you have any comments, you could always contact Crowetic directly. He's very open source, and that's about it. All right, guys. This is Lutz. Love you all. Signing out.